Welcome to our video on how HIITs can help, how you can work out fast and hard and actually burn more fat than whatever you're doing right now. Now, exercise benefits just about everybody, and there's really no downside. It builds a strong heart, improves your immune system, boosts cognitive function, decreases stress, and lowers disease risk. It simply will provide you with a longer, happier life. Isn't that what we all really want? Of course we do, but most of us are also busy. That means we don't really have an hour every day to devote to exercise, like maybe we should. So we need to get a good workout, but we have a limited time to devote to it. Fortunately, there's a solution called high-intensity interval training. Let's start off with a little background to help you understand why this type of exercise is effective and how we can do it. There are two main categories of exercise, the first of which is often referred to as cardio. Doing a cardio type workout is simply a matter of keeping your heart rate elevated for about 20 minutes or more. These sorts of exercises literally force your heart to work harder, and over time your body adapts by increasing the strength and efficiency of your heart and blood vessels. Common cardio exercises are running, biking, or playing soccer. The second type of exercise is strength training. This category includes things like weightlifting, which require short, powerful bursts of energy as you push or pull something heavy. Doing this causes tiny tears in muscle tissue that soon heal bigger and stronger than before. This doesn't do much for your heart, but does cause adaptation through bigger, stronger, more efficient, and flexible muscles. In an ideal situation, you would do both cardio and strength training exercises because you really need both. That means at least 45 minutes of cardio twice a week, and at least 45 minutes of weightlifting twice a week to see any real health benefits. Notice I said minimum. You really should do quite a bit more. But who even had time for 3 hours of exercise every week? That brings us to the next subject, the correlation between intensity and duration. Cardio is typically a low intensity, low duration activity. Think about jogging for 5 miles. You can't run all that fast because otherwise you won't last very long. Instead, you run at a lower intensity so you can actually finish. On the other hand, when you lift weights, at least the way you should, you lift a heavy weight for just a few seconds, but you give it all you have. But you can't do both. There is no such thing as high-intensity exercise that lasts a long time. Could you sprint for 45 minutes straight? Of course not. The more you give to intensity, the less you can give to time, and vice versa. Heart muscle, called cardiac muscle, is engineered to be really good at low-intensity, long-duration activities. After all, it has to beat about every second for your whole life. That's why cardio exercise, low-intensity, long-duration, benefits your heart so much. Skeletal muscle, the muscles you use to move, are really good at being at powerful, short-lived activities, which is also why weightlifting, which is high intensity and short duration, is what you need to build muscle size and strength. Now let's apply this to burning fat, which is really the objective for most of us. Let's do a thought experiment to illustrate this. Imagine you walk 3 miles. It makes sense that as you do, you are burning fat, but very little at any given time. But you are also doing it for about an hour. Now imagine you run the same 3 miles about as quickly as you can. At any one time, you'd be burning a lot more fat than walking, but it also lasts less than half the time. The question is, which activity burns the most total fat? Low intensity, long duration, or higher intensity, shorter duration? It turns out the running burns more fat, but does so in less time. But of course it requires higher intensity. Now imagine if it were possible to sprint for 3 miles. You would burn a huge amount of fat, but for only about 15 minutes. Clearly this is impossible, but we can do something similar. This brings us to the idea of high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. It combines the ideas we just talked about to provide the greatest fat-burning benefit in the least amount of time. We know we burn as much fat as possible by being as intense as possible, but we can't keep that up for long. That's where HIIT workouts come in. We know that the more intense we are, the more fat we burn. Thus, if we sprint, and I mean sprint like a lion is chasing you, you'll burn the most fat per unit time as humanly possible. Since it is only possible to even do that for about 20 seconds, that's how long you do it. After 2 to 3 minutes, you'll be ready to do it again. Repeat this a few times. In a matter of 10 to 15 minutes, you'll have burned more fat than if you had run for 5 miles. Perhaps the best reason to do HIITs is because they don't take long. Imagine you warm up for 3 minutes, stretching, slow jogging, etc. You sprint for 20 seconds, followed by a 2-minute rest. Then repeat this 4 more times and follow it up with 3 minutes of cool down. Again, stretching, slow jogging, etc. In total, your workout is less than 15 minutes. You would need to run more than 5 miles to achieve a similar fat-burning result, which would take an hour or more. HIITs are hybrids between cardio and strength training, and so you get some benefits from both. You are working your heart muscle and skeletal muscle really hard for a short duration. Since you are going all out, the effects on your leg muscles are quite similar to strength training, and so your body tends to build muscle there. Since pretty much every muscle in your body is required for running from a lion sprint, you get some of the same muscle building benefits throughout your body. Think about the last time you watched the Olympics. The guys who run long races, low intensity, long duration, always have skinny legs, and in fact, they are skinny all over. On the flip side, the sprinters always have beefy legs, but they are all pretty muscular all around too. While I sort of implied it above, there are some heart health benefits to HIITs. It is pretty obvious that if you're sprinting for 20 seconds, your heart has to do some serious work to pump blood to all those muscles you're using. This exerts the heart, which like other muscles, respond by becoming stronger. So while you may be doing some HIITs because you want to burn fat as quickly as possible, you're getting some benefit to your heart whether you like it or not. First, let me be clear. HIITs are not bad in any way, but you are giving up other benefits if they are all you do. HIITs are not exactly cardio or weight training, and so you can't get the full benefits of either. Like I said before, the heart benefits the most from low intensity, long duration activities. HIITs are high intensity, low duration. Of course, HIITs still provide benefit to the heart, but not nearly as much as if you ran a long distance instead. Likewise, HIITs are not entirely strength training activities. Of course, HIITs will encourage some muscular growth because of the intensity they require, but that intensity is not focused on any single muscle group. In other words, while HIITs will encourage some muscle growth, no one ever became or could become a bodybuilder by doing only HIITs. Interestingly enough, many of them do use HIITs to lose weight before a competition, but HIITs don't get them looking like that. In summary, HIITs are a combination of cardio and strength training exercise that maximize the fat-burning aspects of both. They are difficult and require real mental resolve to perform, but anyone can do them. And the real benefit is that you save time. Ideally, you want to do cardio and weight training for a total of several hours per week, but not many of us can or are willing to make time for that. We just want to stay thin. Doing HIITs provides exactly what we need to meet the fat-burning goal, but with a relatively small time investment.